So for the next part of today's event is going to be my chance to share about studying in China for all of you. So after I share about studying in China, there will be information about the global COVID updates, and then studying MBBS abroad, studying in US, and also studying in UK. So stay tuned and don't miss all of the information that we're going to be sharing today. So let me start my presentation. I hope you guys can all see my screen. And then also just a final reminder, if you have any questions, please write it on the Q&A box, and the global admissions team will be there and answer your questions. And if your questions is specific for us, for example, or about studying in China or UK or studying in the US, you can also mention the topic up front. For example, this question is for us, or this question is for studying in China or studying in UK, so that we can cover your questions. Anyway, let's get started and let's dig further into studying in China with global admissions, or China admissions in this case. Yeah, so first of all, let me introduce myself again in case this is the first time we meet each other online. So I'm Nadia, I'm from Indonesia. And then right now I'm working with China Admissions, and we're based in Beijing. And I also were studying in Beijing before at the University of International Business and Economics. And after I finished my master's degree there, I worked for China Admissions until right now, and also for global admissions too now. So we have a mission to help international students to study abroad, to be able to study in China or other destinations. So this is a little bit about China Admissions. So basically, we are also a platform where we help international students apply to Chinese universities. So you'll be able to see a lot in our platform. So information about the programs, universities, but not only that, also about the application process, and you can apply directly to these universities on China Admissions platform. And these are some of our partner universities, including the Zhejiang University of Science and Technology, who just gave the wonderful presentation just now. So before we go any further, let me give you further understanding about why you should be considering China as your studying destination. So one of the most reasons why international students choose China is because they also want to learn the language. And Chinese language is one of the most important language in the whole world right now. As a matter of fact, it is the #1 most spoken language in the entire world. So imagine the importance of Chinese. Imagine you being able to speak Chinese. Of course, your confidence and also your knowledge will be increased, and then you will also become more competitive in a global scale. So if you're working in a company, wherever the company is, and if they know that you can speak Chinese, they actually will appreciate you more. So that's actually the reality these days, and that's why students want to come to China, because they want to get their degrees from Chinese universities, but also they want to be immersed in the culture, and they want to be able to speak the language. And secondly, it's because the Chinese universities, they are high-ranking and also reputable universities. I think in the recent year, this has become very more famous for China, and then a lot of their universities are more high-ranking and are more recognized in a global scale as well. So a lot of students. Of course, you guys would know universities like Tsinghua University or Peking University, but there are so many other universities beyond just Tsinghua and Peking that have a very high reputation, not just in China, but also overseas. So in the recent years, Chinese universities, they crawl up the ladder in the global university ranking, and they have much better education quality these days. And this is one of the reasons why international students would want to go to China, because education in China is also as competitive as the other countries now. And then the third reason why students would want to go to China is because they also want to learn from China's fast development. I'm pretty sure you have heard about this from the news outside or from the internet, on how fast China is building things, on how fast China is modernizing the city or things like that. And it is really true. And once you are there in China later, you'll be able to see all of that. You'll be able to learn from China on how fast they're developing the countries, the infrastructure, the transportation, and how modern everything is in China. And then the next reason is because studying in China is actually budget friendly, it's cost friendly. So it's, like you get to study abroad, but with a relatively affordable cost. So studying in China is actually not that expensive compared to other countries. So that's actually one of the reasons why students are going to China. For instance, studying MBBS in China is actually one of the cheapest if you are comparing it with other destinations. And that's why a lot of the students, they're going to China to pursue MBBS, but not just MBBS, also for other degrees as well. So in short, studying in China is an adventure of a lifetime because there are endless travel opportunities in China. China is very big. It's very beautiful as well. You get to travel in every different part of China, and actually you will see different things. If you go to the northern part of China, compare if you go to the southern part of China, the sceneries and the cultures and everything are going to be totally different. So it's really, really interesting to learn from China. And then China, they have delicious food everywhere. So if you love food, this is something that may be going to be interesting for you to taste different kind of food, because as I mentioned, China is very, very big. So if you go to north part compared to if you go to the southern part, if you go to Beijing compared to Shanghai, the food will be entirely different. So you can come and taste everything when you're able to go to China. And then you will be able to meet your friends from all over the world, because nowadays a lot of the international students are also coming to China, and they are not just from Asia, for example, but they're actually from different part of the world. A lot of the students are from Africa, from America, from the European countries, from Australia, New Zealand, from Asian countries, from Southeast Asia. They are all coming to China because they want to learn from China, from the Chinese universities too. And in the end, you'll be able to develop a global mindset while learning your degree in a foreign country, while learning from their culture, their language, and everything. And then, it will boost your confidence. It will also boost your competitiveness in a global world. And then admission is now already open for Chinese universities. So the next intake, if you're applying for degree programs, is actually this fall or September 2022 intake. But if you're applying for Chinese language program, there will be two intakes, which it was in March 2022, or you can apply for next year, March, and also in September this year. So application is still open actually, but time is very limited right now. Clock is ticking. So if you are interested to apply to Chinese universities, then this is the moment where you should be applying. And then if you're applying for a fully funded Chinese government scholarship, the application deadline has passed actually. So you can try again next year around the beginning of the year. So usually that's going to be around January to March for a Chinese government scholarship application. But right now you can still apply for self-finance application, and also for opportunities from the university scholarships, like the ZAS scholarship, for example. You can still get the scholarship if you apply now, but you have to be really quick because universities in China, they are giving scholarship on a rolling basis as well. So if you don't do it very fast, then the scholarship position might be taken by someone else. And then there are over 2,000 programs in China in English. So if you don't know Chinese, that's actually no problem, because there's also option to study everything in English while still learning Chinese, obviously. And then this is some of the formula that I used to choose, that I used to share for students if they have some confusion in choosing the program. So the first thing that you need to do is to choose the major that you want to apply for. You need to know what is your future career plan. You need to know what subjects that you like, or something that you want to study further, and then you can decide what your budget is. So do you have enough budget to study in China? How much is your budget? Because in China, different cities might have different living costs as well. For example, if you're studying in Beijing, it's going to be more expensive than few other cities, because Beijing is the most expensive cities in China. And then in terms of location, if you have any preference in terms of location, because China is very, very big, so the living condition or the weather from here and there could be extremely different. So it's something that could be taken into your consideration as well. And then to search for programs, you can actually go to China Admissions platform to get more information about what are the programs available at China that you can still apply for. And then these are some of the popular and recommended programs in China, recommended universities in China, and some universities that we are working with. For example, for business administration program, and then computer science and medicine program. Usually these three programs are very, very popular among the bachelor students. So I think this is like one of the most popular majors among international students if they want to pursue their bachelor studies in China. And then MBA or IMBA program is also particularly getting more and more popular. I think it's due to the fact that China's business side is very, very growing. And then everybody is looking towards China right now. So people wants to learn from China and from their business and how they are, growing everything this fast. And then if you are interested in something like a dual degree opportunities, China also has it. So you can study in China and like, for example, like half in China and half in UK, or half in China, half in French. This is actually possible, or like half in China, half in Hong Kong. So this is possible. So there are other dual degree programs opportunities available for international students too. Some of the programs that I shared today, this is just some examples that I'm sharing with you, but you can check everything more completely on China Admissions platform. And if you are interested to learn Chinese language online, then this is something that you can consider doing online classes with Chinese university. So you'll get to learn Chinese language with a native Chinese speaker. And then this is something that you might want to screenshot because this is like the general requirement for applying to Chinese universities. So Chinese universities, they often have age requirements. So the minimum age would be 18 years old, because if you're under 18, you're considered minor, then you might need to have a guardian in China. And then there's also maximum age and minimum education that you need to be having. So you need to have like high school diploma to apply for bachelor's and etc. So you need to fulfill this requirement to apply to Chinese universities. And this is the application process on how you can complete the application. So you can do everything on China Admissions platform, and then just choose the programs that you want to apply for, and then start the online application, and then just complete the online application. And you can choose the service on China Admissions, which ones that you want, and then upload the documents required. And this is the list of documents that are usually required. You can also screenshot this page because this is very important for Chinese universities. They will only process applications that have complete documents. So if your applications are not completed, then it's not going to go further in the application process. So make sure that you allow yourself to have enough time to get all of these documents for your application. And right now, universities also require students to get the non-criminal record and the foreigner physical examination form usually. And so you have to give yourself extra time to be able to finish the medical exam and like get the non-criminal record from the local police station too. So yeah, after that, you can pay the application fee. So a lot of universities in China, they also impose application fee. Usually it's about $100, like $80 to $150, depends on how much the university charges. And then what you can do after you submitted your application to China Admissions is that we will review and submit your application to the university. So you can wait for their decision. And if you're accepted, then you can pay the deposit fee and then continue to the next step. And right now, the next step is studying online because the border is still closed. So once the border is open again, then you'll be able to study on campus. So this is the final one. So this is the COVID-19 update for China. So for now, as of today, international students are still not allowed to enter China. So because of the COVID-19 pandemic, obviously. So officially, only students from South Korea are able to get the student visa and come to China. Other countries, they might come on a rolling basis. It depends on the Chinese government decisions. I've heard some news from some universities or some other countries that manage to send their students back in, but it's on a rolling basis and it depends on the invitation from the Chinese government too. So it's not something official And then for now, what we can do is to wait for the updates from the Chinese government. So for programs in September 2022, it's likely going to be online, but again, it depends on the COVID-19 situation and the border opening for international students. But right now, because everything is still closed pretty much for international students, so everything is still online. And then for students who are in China right now, they are doing, they're able to do on-campus classes. Also, it depends on the local restriction at the moment, but yeah, generally they're able to do on-campus classes. So when will the border be open for China? It's something that I cannot answer myself. So we have to wait for the further information and announcement from the Chinese government. So let's hope for the best and let's hope that the border will be open soon. So yeah, that's the end for studying in China updates and information. So if you guys want to know more about studying in China, go check China admissions. And so you can check for the programs, requirements, and then do the online applications on China admissions. And if you have any questions, you can contact us on the Q&A box, or I will also leave our email address so you can leave us some message or questions there. Thank you, guys. So I hope this information is pretty clear right now for studying in China part. And then right now, yeah, if you guys have any questions, you can just share it. You can just write it on the Q&A box. And right now, I will be inviting my colleague as a to share about the global COVID updates and work study update for all of you.